Tonight, we are hearing from the mother of a Denver man who was murdered nearly 2 years ago. Just this week, her son's killer given a prison sentence. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. Denver 7's Christian Lopez shares this story and how the victim's family is working so hard to keep his memory alive.
Your wings were ready, but my heart was not.
Casandra Watkins is doing all she can.
That is his handwriting from a card, I love you.
To keep her only son, Kanajai, close.
He was my favorite person, in the whole world. And he was taken, and there's not going to be anybody who can love me the way my son loved me.
After he and a friend were killed in a senseless act of gun violence.
These were brand new shoes.
Holding a piece of that night in her hands, nearly 2 years later.
Evidence.
What does it feel like when you see those?
It just makes it all real. It makes all of it real. My son was never in trouble a day in his life. He wasn't a street kid. This should not have been his story. He was a good kid, played football. He was a wonderful, wonderful son, wonderful father, brother.
Casandra says all of the evidence shows her son found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I lived way above my means their entire life just to make sure that he wasn't a statistic.
The shooting happened on the street behind this alley on Ogden and Colfax back on January 29th, 2022. Kanajai was shot twice. The shooter was found about a week later thanks to surveillance video in this area, and his mom still stops by the area frequently to drop these flower petals off to honor her son.
A few days ago, she says her son's killer, Adarian Sanford, was sentenced to 60 years behind bars.
It's just a chapter closed. The judge said things like closure. You never really get closure.
She's not calling it justice.
When your child is murdered, you have to go to court. You have to face the person who made the decision that your child's life was not worth living.
But instead, the end of a chapter.
I can grieve properly, but you will never get closure.
Reporting in Denver.
The closure I get is when I have my baby in my arms again.
I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.